Hello everyone, welcome to Tesla Shree channel. In today's video I am testing out the Tesla FSD beta 10.69.2 version. This is kind of my second drive, and I have put in a couple of waypoints again today. Though my destination needed me to take the freeway or the tollway, I added a second destination or like a waypoint in between, so that it takes me through city streets and I get to test out the beta version. So yeah, let's see how it does today. In terms of the update, I think it's pretty smooth so far, with regards to turnings and lane changes. It feels a lot smoother compared to the other versions, so I think that's definitely an improvement. So we have a left turn coming up, and the interesting thing about this intersection where we need to make a left is it has a entrance ramp to the freeway as well, and it needs to make a left there. So sometimes it's smart enough to keep itself on the right lane, because you don't need to be on the left lane, because it's both are left turn lanes. So if it needs to get on the freeway, it keeps itself. Well, it started going on the other lane, so I took over. It was interesting. So I reported that. Not sure what happened there, but it has been doing pretty good with keeping itself in the lane when it makes the left turn, and it knows when it needs to take the freeway. It will keep me on the lane which is an entrance lane. And then today, since I didn't have to take the freeway, it kept me on the right lane. But it did start going on the lane which if someone else had been there, I think it would have been a little tricky there. So car is making a right turn there, and then it said it will take me on the left, and I think it sensed a car, and it didn't. So let's see. So now it's waiting for the other car, which is interesting. Strange. Let me see if I can turn on the indicator for it to go to the... Okay. So I turned on the blinker, and then it got me to the next lane, which it wanted to go around it. I think there was an exit ramp of the freeway there, so the cars were coming in pretty fast. So that's why it was hesitant to go around the truck there. And I saw there were no cars, so I turned on the blinker, and then it did fine. So we have a yield here. Okay, there were no cars coming. Pretty smooth. So it saw the truck coming in there. Though the truck had a stop sign and a yield, it did slow down a bit, just to be on the, just to be cautious. if the truck doesn't stop, and then so it did slow down a bit and then proceeded safely. So that was a good thing there. So we have a straight road. That's the first waypoint. So I think it should be able to handle it fine. There's a bit of traffic here, so we'll see if we encounter anything else. So that was a pretty steep curve. It did slow down a bit, though it was going a little too close to comfort on the left, almost on the lane markings, but then it got back on the lane after it slowed down a bit. So well handled there, I think. So our first destination is coming up in about 0.5 miles. I think it did well so far. It should take me into the parking lot. I hope it does and doesn't like try to stop on the busy street here. And then we'll probably stop for a quick second and then say continue trip to take us further. Let's see. So this is our right turn coming up. Let's see if it will make the turn. It has the blinker on. Then did the turn pretty good, and then stop for a few pedestrians, and it will probably stop here because I see on the maps that's all it shows. So let me pull up. Let me back up and then maybe go around. Yeah, because I see it gave me the continue trip option. And yeah, there you go. It picked up the route and then corrected itself. So there's a red light. It's trying to creep forward, but there are a lot of vehicles coming in, so it stopped. That's good. And that's interesting. I don't know if you see it in the camera, but it detects a person there. I couldn't even see them because they're behind the tree, and then I had to notice it carefully. So that's interesting that it's able to pick up. Okay, so it did the turn because there were no vehicles coming in. This was really good turn, I think, because it waited for all the vehicles to pass and then made the right turn in good time, even though there was a truck coming in, but it was well behind us, and it had the ample space to make the turn. I think really well executed for sure. So I think in terms of visibility, it definitely has a lot more coverage. It's able to track a lot more things compared to a human for sure. I think it's just that incremental development that's going on over the versions where you just, it's able to act better and better around, depending on the surroundings and what it sees. So that's the improvement that you see over the versions. That's happened quite a few times where I see like someone walking and you don't notice them when you are driving, but Tesla picks up, the cameras pick up pretty much everything that's happening around it. So we are going to get on the freeway in about 2 miles, and again that's a straight road, so it should be able to handle it. And another thing I think I saw in a lot of people question was, can you wear sunglasses when you're on beta? I personally never had any issues with it, and as you see, I think pretty much all my daytime videos I like to wear sunglasses. Never had any issues. I just make sure as soon as I see like a pop-up where it says to, maybe keep your hand on the wheel or something like that, I immediately give it some response, and then it picks it up and then it does fine. And I think 99% of the time I'm looking forward, or depending on if we are making a left or right, I just look at in that direction, and it does okay. So I've never had any issues with sunglasses. I'm not sure if there is a different kind of sunglasses it doesn't like, where people complained that they were wearing it and they got a lot of issues with it, and they had to, and they tried without the sunglasses and it worked fine. So I personally, like I said, I've never had issues, but I'm not sure if it is sensitive to sunglasses or not. And another thing I saw a lot of people did, a lot of beta testers did, was recalibrating the cameras, which is something, again, I've never done. From I think 8 months or 9 months I've been testing it. I didn't have to do that. It's been working fine. I just make sure to keep the cameras clean before I start a test. I just wipe it and make sure it's clean, there's nothing blocking the view. But other than that, recalibrating, I don't know, I'd never had to do it. So as you see, it's a little busy street, but it is keeping me in the lane, doing fine. Though I would probably prefer to be on the center lane, because there's a lot of people making turns here. And there's a bus stop there, so I saw the message, what it showed. It said moving on over to the left lane to avoid path blockage. I think that's the message it said. That was interesting. I don't think I'd seen the message before. Maybe I didn't have chance to look at the screen. So it detected there was a bus stopped, and it got me over. So that was good. I think that as long as it's able to detect that, that's really really important. So there's a car in our on the right, pretty much kind of in a blind spot, so it has to come over to the right lane, because there's a right coming up in about 0.5 miles, half a mile. So let's see how it does. So it says upcoming lane change. It will probably bring me over to the right just before the turn. So far, I think, other than the one instance where I took over real quick because it was going over the lane on the left turn, it drove pretty much all by itself. It's doing really good. So there's a bus next to us, and I see it's keeping a little to the left, and it's trying to make the right turn. It turned on the lights, the blinker, and then sped up a bit, got me over. Really well done. I think with respect to the lane change, really well handled. So it did try to maintain a little bit of space. As it detected the bus, it kept a little to the left. So that was good. I think there are some of the minor improvements that you see that's a little different. And one thing I don't think I've mentioned is it detects the blinkers in the front, the indicator light. Yeah, so I was saying it detects the indicator light, and you see it in the animation, but I don't know if it still does anything for that, because there was someone coming over to my lane, and it slowed down for them, let them through, let them merge, and I think it handled it well. Okay, this was another instance. It's doing good. Let's see. So there's someone again with their indicator on. They want to come over, so it slowed down. The back at that intersection, our right turn, the lights were green, and it stopped. It didn't technically have to stop because there was someone, I got honked at, but it stopped and then started to go. I don't think it has to stop if the lights are green when you're making a right, but I might be wrong, I don't know. That was interesting there. So making a left in a second, and it got me over to the leftmost lane. Pretty well handled again. So it got me to the left turn lane. It has the indicator on. So it struggled a bit here for some reason, and it started going to the other lane again. Not sure what happened. Maybe it didn't see the lane markings correctly, or there were probably no lane markings there in the turn. So it started going a little, and you could see the steering struggle a bit. So I corrected that real quick and then turned it back on. So that's something it needs a little bit of work on when it's making a left, and it needs to go straight. It tries to struggle between going to the left turn lane versus going to the lane that goes straight, and that has happened quite a few times. It works like 50% of the time, and the other 50 it's a miss. So it's still getting there. It was pretty, I think I would have probably made it. The lights turned yellow and it stopped pretty hard. I think we could have made it if we sped up a little bit, but in this instant it decided to stop. So that was a little bit of a heartbreaking there. So it got me over to the center lane way back, because it knew the left lane ends in about 0.5 miles. So it has done that quite a few times. it knows that the left lane ends or the right lane ends, and then it gets you over. So that's good. And I think this version is supposed to be a lot sensitive to pedestrians, and I've noticed that as well. And I said that, and then it got me over to the leftmost lane at this time. I don't know why it did that, because the left lane ended and then there were just two lanes. So yeah, it still has a mind of its own. So I was saying, I think that it is sensitive to pedestrians a little bit in this version. So I've seen that it slows down a lot more. So that's always interesting. So I think we had a good drive this round. Hope you like this video. I'll go ahead and stop it now, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye.